Hey guys, I figured we could make this sort of a thing where I just sit in front of the camera and talk straight about a movie for like 2+ minutes in a non-spoiler fashion, so let's see if it works out. Yeah. Snow White and the Huntsman is better than I thought it was going to be. My expectations were already super low knowing that Kristen Stewart was going to play Snow White. I mean, it's gotten to the point where if I see her face plastered on any movie poster, I immediately don't want to see it because she's really that bad. Seriously, who casted Kristen Stewart to play Snow freaking White? She's the absolute wrong choice. Is it because she was pale and has black hair? Because that's not the right reason. You could fix stuff like that. Like, if you can dye Jennifer Lawrence's hair brown to be Katniss Everdeen, then you can dye someone else's hair black. And even if you forget about the fact that Kristen Stewart doesn't know what the word acting means, just take a look at her. Does she look like the symbol of purity and goodness to you? And this is purely a looks thing that I'm getting at. This has nothing to do with like her personality or character or anything. I mean, Charlize Theron looks hot and scary, you know? She's perfect for the queen, but Kristen Stewart just doesn't look the part. Her face is too like long and slender, if that makes any sense. Like, I think that the girl that she was in prison with at the beginning of the movie probably would have been a better choice because she has like a rounder, more innocent face, if that makes any sense. Speaking of Charlize Theron, she was totally perfect as the queen. I've always thought of Charlize Theron as ridiculously hot and ridiculously terrifying, so this was a great role for her. She was a character that was totally insane and was obsessed with being young and beautiful forever, but she also had the intelligence and the supernatural ability to make that happen. Another thing that makes her really scary is that we know that she knows what she's doing. Throughout the first like half hour of the movie, they make numerous references to the fact that this isn't the first time she's completely taken over a kingdom. Like the first time you see the mirror on the wall who like materializes into a little cloak form, like the T-1000. He's all, "My queen, yet another kingdom falls to your glory and beauty and awesomeness." And that helped make her that much more scary. She was also really loud and yelly and unpredictable, so she would just start freaking out randomly, and that was also scary. So Charlize Theron, A+. And Snow White and the Huntsman. The computer-generated stuff in this movie was definitely used really well. Like, there's two, like, realms or whatever. There's the Dark Forest, which is really terrifying and scary and a place you don't want to be. And then there's, like, the meadow where, like, mushrooms have eyes and there's fairies and, like, white deer with giant tree branches for antlers, and it's really cool. Even if Snow White herself didn't act very Snow Whitey, the atmosphere itself felt very fairy tale Snow White-ish, if that makes sense. And that really worked to the movie's advantage, which was a good thing. Chris Hemsworth was fine. I mean, he was what you'd expect him to be as the Huntsman. In every battle scene, I kept waiting for him to, like, lift up his hammer and summon the powers of Asgard and, like, lightning and stuff. It's a pretty basic good versus evil story altogether. Like, the Queen is pure evil and Snow White is pure goodness, and only Snow White's blood can keep the Queen young and immortal forever, and, like, only Snow White can kill the Queen and stuff like that. After the Queen takes over the kingdom, she captures Snow White and locks her in a tower until she escapes, like, 10 years-ish later. I mean, the Queen's really intelligent, and she didn't seem to feel any remorse for any of the bad things she did, so why'd you keep the girl in the tower all that time? Why didn't you just kill her? You know, just in case her very existence is the only thing preventing you from eternal beauty and power and life. Snow White and the Huntsman, it's pretty good. I mean, other than Snow White herself, the whole movie comes together pretty well, and it feels good, and it looks really cool. There's a lot of cool action scenes, you know, worth a watch. New haircut makes me feel very David Tennant-y.
Mr. Molnar! Mrs. Molnar! Oh my god, somebody! Laura Molnar! Lauren! He's just